that's all it's gonna be is temporary.
It's not getting you anywhere, person. But you're different. Everyone's different, But I feel like all three of us are in agreement that like that's not what we look for when going in.
And there's no judgment to those people who are running through people like it's a napkin, like
True.
beauty fades. We all get older, and by the time you're like 40 running through all these people, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I have 300, 400 bodies under my belt, but out of those 400 people that I had, a intimate encounter with, who's by my side, who's holding it down for me? Who do I have a connection with? Who can I say I can call in the middle of the night and say, yo, like, me, like, give me advice, or like, help me through this, or XYZ. Like, what's your opinion on this? Do you think this is a good venture? That connection, because you're gonna be 70 and like just be by yourself,
But my body count 400.
Accomplished. So I have a random question. For something to be classified as a date, do you think it needs to be said between you two, like, alright, this is a date, or can it just be any type of setting, outing, whatever the case may be?
Okay. I want to say it depends on both people are looking for a relationship. If you're both looking for a relationship and you're gonna set something up, at that point, anything. We could go for a walk. We're here on the stars, down the canal, we're chilling, hanging out, enjoying each other's time, picnic.
Yeah.
It's cute,
Okay.
But if we're just, because it seems like at that point it's building towards a label, maybe. If we're just homies, like, we'll hang out for a date tomorrow. You could take someone back. They could just be like, oh, well, I thought, we were just kind of cool. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I don't know what to label this. I don't know what I want this to be for this to be considered our first, second, third dates, But at that point, it could be like a timeline. Date number 3, now it's time for me to ask you out, or I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, because like what dates are. Like, I can have dates with my friends, So, like...
Well, like, obviously we're looking at it as an actual romantic level, like...
It could be anything. Like, I don't have to be taken to a fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
At least me, I'm simple. Yeah. You can take me to the drive-thru at Sonic and then go to a park and eat it there, Like, I think a date to me is just the effort and time spent into being with each other.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, like, the activity, the environment... just as long as we're both like on the same page, like, we want to be around each other right now. It doesn't matter the setting.
Okay.
So there's no prerequisite that you don't have to agree that we're going to be mutually exclusive. We're going to look towards something to constitute it as a date.
I don't think it. I personally don't think that it has to be said. I think the way that I can kind of look at it as, and it's because it's something that I want to do right now, is like I want to be able. If I am gonna go out, I'd rather it be somebody that, obviously somebody I can get to know, but if I'm gonna keep going out, then it's obviously gonna be with that same person. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to just only exclusively go out with that person just because I'm romantically interested. Like, no, I'd rather go out on a mutual level, and because my ideal is I want to date my best friend. So I want to be able to have either gone out enough with this person or talked to this person enough that I'm like, all right, it's good friend, best friend, that I can date her, and, obviously we've done all these other outings or dates, that when we are ready to get romantically involved on a serious level, that it's a smooth transition.
Yeah, okay.
So, that's... I personally consider dates, I feel like it's just anytime it's just you two.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter the area. You can go to a park. You can go to a house. Whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. You can show up in friggin' joggers, sweats, whatever the case may be. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's like that, but I don't know. Some people always say otherwise. They say you have to go to a restaurant. You have to do all this fancy stuff. I personally don't, but.
People, you have to dress up this way. You know, someone has to drop this much money on
That's the social stigma too. It's like, don't be bound by those societal standards, because at the end of the day, whenever you are dating a person, it's like you and that person. It's not you with that person to make the world happy. And and that's another thing too. I feel like a lot of people go into relationships because they say, "Oh, we are aesthetically good together. We look good together. So we're gonna be together." Yet the chemistry's off, you know, the respect is off. They're cheating on each other left and right, you know, but at the end of the day, they're like, "Oh, we're still together because our following count." You know, we have a joint account. We can't.
Yeah.
So this is why I don't date too, because like that's the thing. Like you don't wanna. What is like exclusively dating someone? It's like, okay, when you're saying, hey, we've dated each other enough times, anybody else that we've been dating outside of each other are now off limits?
I think it's more so the more you, not the more you talk, like I think it's asking those questions like, hey, you know, have you, like, are you talking to anybody? Have you been talking to anybody?
How would you react to the answer though? Like, would you be upset? Like, say you're dating a girl, but you're not exclusive, and you ask her that question, like, hey, have you been dating other people? You know, let's say 3 months in, and she's like, yeah, I have been dating other people. Like, would you be upset? Or would you ask questions like, have you been sexually active with those people? Or have you guys been sexually active? You know, like...
variables.
I would be,
so
I don't know, I would be upset if I had expressed already that I am romantically interested. You know, granted, everybody moves at their own pace. Regardless, if you haven't expressed it, I don't feel like you can be in any boat to get upset. Now, for me personally, if somebody says that to me and they've said, like, yes, they've been sexually active with other people, then, like, I think for me, that's the big deal breaker, and I wouldn't be able to continue because
of your celibacy and like how
I mean that, but just I don't know, I feel like there's a part that I would feel used, you know. Obviously if you're being sexually active with other people, well, you're clearly just using them, but then you're clearly coming back to me for obviously the deep and emotional stuff. So I don't know, it would be offsetting to me, and I just...
Agreed. Yeah.
Because I think the shallow end, like, you know, just kind of going and doing your thing over there, but then coming back for the more in-depth relationship.
That's why I ended my situationship too, for that exact reason.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Is that disrespect? It's like at that point, I mean, you're still not entitled to one another because you're in a relationship.
But it was that like respect.
Yeah,
for sure.
At that point,
like,
you have to respect.
Yeah.
And like again, they're not in the wrong because they're free to do whatever they want. But it was like, at that point, like, I had they purposely made me meet that person. It was like, hey, this is X person in my life. And I was like, oh, okay, hi, nice to meet you. And I had my suspicions, but I was like, no, I can't say anything because like I'm nobody yet, right? Okay. And then boom, like that person told me that they were together, and I'm like, girl, why are you telling me? Like, I'm not your friend, you know. So like I know that she like purposely told me like, hey, back off.
Yeah.
So I was like, there you go, here's this man, like you can have him, because I had felt just so disrespected. Not the fact that they were like sleeping with other people, but it was the fact that they purposely knew, like they knew obviously that they were sleeping like with two women, and they made us meet. So it was like, let me watch the chickens fight. Let me see how they react to each other. That to me was like super malicious. So that was like the biggest turnoff for me. Yeah. It wasn't even the fact that they were sleeping with another person. But I'm telling you, situationships are bad.
Horrible.
Cause like I couldn't say anything, right? I didn't have no title. I didn't have like nothing, so I just had to sit there and be like, oh, this is what happened. Okay, moving on, you know?
But that's what I'm saying. I think that's where the actual communication comes down, though. Like, I get it, you have your pride and you don't want to, like, seem soft saying, okay, look, I have feelings for you. But at the same time, if you know that there's a possibility you can get hurt, like, you should voice that opinion.
I feel where you're coming from, because if you don't, then, like you said in the end, you really don't have any say. You know, but if you're like from the jump, hey, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm not looking for, let's see how it works out.
Yeah.
If they heed those warnings and those signs and they choose to ignore them, you know, that's on them. At the end of the day, it's unfortunate, like you were saying previously, you're hurting someone without having that intention or that malice behind it, but then it's not more so your fault. It's like, hey, this is a giant disclaimer that we put before the movie. You chose to fast forward to 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. Like, that's on you, you know?
Yeah.
But I digress.
But then, like, if you do express your feelings to someone, you don't know them, so they could say, oh, this person confessed their love for me, I'm gonna use them, you know? Or lead them on, or be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, you know, I love you too, and then like 6 months down the line, you're like, okay, but you're loving Sally down the street too, you know?
Who sells seashells? Like, come on, what? No,
you like her oyster or what?
Yeah. Oh! Take it easy.
Put her out of business real quick.
That's the thing, the polar knowledge. That's the thing, though. It's just it's scary, because if you open up to someone, they have all potential to just go ahead and take all the information. All right, cool. What can I piss her off with today? Snap. All right, you know, I'm gonna take this, and this. We'll save these for later. You know, let's go ahead and just rain down hell on her parade. That's messed up. And at that point, why would I open up to you? You have to earn me. You have to prove to me that you're someone who will be willing to stay, who I can see and trust that the information I provide to you will be positively taken and utilized. You know, not just trying to go ahead and reverse that and make me regret ever opening my doors up to you. So it's scary.
And it's like I have that kind of intuition where if I know something, if I feel something's off, I'll feel it. You don't even have to tell me, but if I feel it, then like
Trust
guards
it.
are going right up.
Trust it.
And I will. It sounds bad, but I will kind of play that field to see if either A, you confess what I'm feeling,
for sure,
or B, I'm gonna walk you into that trap so that I catch you and, you know, not even convince myself, just ensure what I'm feeling is right.
Yeah. But then also, like, it could just be trauma coming up and being like, wait, like, is this what's really going on? And then you'll keep doing things just to, like, try to confirm that idea is true.
And that self-sabotage.
Yeah. And that's
Possibly, yeah.
There's this, I saw this video, he was talking about intuition. There's like these 6 rules to follow for you to like be just like right within yourself, and like one of them is intuition, perspective, what's the other one? Like there was just a lot, but they were really good, that you do have to like trust yourself, because your body already moves in some type of frequency that like you harmonize with what your true soul body resonates with, right? Like there's universal truths true to yourself in your world that you're okay with and what you're not, right? And when you like navigate your own world, like those things are gonna come to you, right? But there's obviously gonna be a lot of like white noise, and you have to differentiate, like, oh, if you don't have a good feeling about something, trust that, because that's your internal guide telling you, hey, like, come this way, you know? Don't force things, just let it flow.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, because personal experience, I've with personal traumas, I've seen, you know, they're not like red, they're little pink, like, you know, magenta flies, and it's like, I don't know if I want to go all the way up. And then because of previous traumas, you know, my body, I'm thinking, you know, with this person, they're tiptoeing that line. I don't know if, like, you know, they're about to do something that I didn't want to, that I experienced previously. I wasn't even trying to deal with it, you know, before it even happened. I'm just like, you know, I'm giving myself a chance to actually give this person a true say-so, you know, because they haven't done anything yet that has warranted me to even, it's just because of something in the past that's you know, go ahead and okay.
Yeah.
And that's that self-sabotage that I was talking about, or that you were mentioning.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of variables to take in. But if you can get that one person who's down to have conversations like this, you know, like just play this whole tape back for them and be like, yo, like, spin. For real. Like, they got so many variables. Communication is definitely key. Comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch base on that for sure.
We talked about that.
Yeah. Because I can go ahead and spit a bunch of facts out that I feel like, you need to know. But unless you actually understand them, you actually put them into something, or if you don't apply.
Mm-hmm. It's like you can speak all you want, but if you're not being understood, what's the point of saying that,
Yeah, it's like, people will hear you, but are they actually listening to what you're saying?
And that holds so true because, like, you can say, I had this, like, situation where I literally let it all out. I was like, hey, I'm not feeling this. I don't like this. Like, when I do this, like, I feel like you do this because I do this, whatever. And, like, this whole spiel that I had. And the only thing they took away from it was, like, wait, you think I act like a bitch? Or, like, like, just something so off. And I'm like,
sure.
I literally, like... So you mean to tell me,
golly,
and it's like, wow, I just wasted like 20 minutes of my time just not talking to a wall. But
then you're exhausted, you're just so tired, but every time you try to go ahead and talk to someone, they don't understand what you're saying. Why am I wasting my time consistently just trying to even open up to you? I need someone who understands, or someone doesn't even put me in the situation to explain these things. We can skip a whole step. And I'm sitting back, I'm sitting like, damn, I was that motherfucker, like all I took away was you called me up, type beat. And
I've been there. Yeah, I've been there.
But it's all that, it's a learning process.
Yeah.
Take those L's and learn from them.
I will say this, though. I feel like any partner that we do pick is a reflection of ourselves at that point in time. So
deep.
I don't regret my relationships because that's what I was at that time, and if I hadn't gone through that or done the things or been, victimized by whatever things that were happening at those times, I wouldn't be able to be saying my perspective right now and being so aware of it, because I have done like the internal work to say, hey, I take accountability of hurting people, and I'm also aware that I've been hurt, and because of those hurts, I've also hurt people, and vice versa, because of, how I've hurt people, I've been hurt, So it's really, like, it is